Hello, welcome to a new streaming venture, Kirby Triple Deluxe. So this is kind of an experiment, I guess. Well, I just want to talk about how this is set up, just to make sure we're all on the same page here. So, if you've ever wondered about streaming from the 3DS, once upon a time there's like one guy in Japan who would modify your 3DS for you to install a capture card. And I believe with the help of Nintendo, Japan passed a law making it illegal to modify like your consoles, your hardware that you already purchased. And that guy in Japan who modified 3DSs stopped doing that. So as far as I know, there's no one who even does it anymore. But there is kind of an alternative. I mean, obviously, I'm streaming it right now. If you have a new 3DS, you can install custom firmware. And that's exactly what I did to you. I am doing this over Wi-Fi. I installed custom firmware. It's pretty easy to find the resources. I forget what I Googled, sir. I did this like a couple months ago. Probably 3 or 4 months ago. Time is kind of an illusion, right? So I installed custom firmware on my 3DS so that what it does is it captures the video feed and sends that to my computer. So I've got, a program on here that's capturing. And then I've just got an auxiliary cable running from my 3DS to my computer to capture the audio, which hopefully is doing just fine. Like, it sounds fine, everything. The thing is that since I'm doing the video over Wi-Fi, I've done a lot of testing with the settings to make sure that it looks okay. I have noticed that sometimes the frame rate does kind of fluctuate a bit. There's really nothing I can do about it. I've tried tweaking the settings all kinds of ways, and I think I've settled on the best I'm gonna get, which right now is just under 30 frames per second. So hopefully you can bear with me when I do this. I'd like to think that at least since the audio is going to be consistent, it's going to be like a better viewing experience than say me emulating a game that's running at 50% speed or is dropping half the frames. We'll see. So I think that's enough of a preamble for how this setup is. Metroid 3DS. Perhaps. I would like to do that. I'm embarrassed to say that I keep forgetting which one is Samus Returns and which one is Return of Samus. But yes, I would like to do that if this works out. Anyway, what can I say about Kirby Triple Deluxe? Well, it's not exactly like a revival of good old Kirby, because you know how things have been with Kirby, and well, I guess if you don't know how things have been with Kirby, Kirby has a lot of spin-off games that have, a lot of like unique mechanics, but they aren't like staple Kirby where you run around, collect power-ups. There's like what was it? Rainbow Curse that was on the Wii U, which was kind of a sequel to Canvas Curse, which was on the DS. You had I think it was called Mass Attack. That was also on the DS. I never played that one. I only played a demo of it, I think. I want to say that, like, no, that's not true. I was going to say that before that, the last Kirby game was the mainline Kirby game, kind of. Would have been Kirby 64, but no, I'm thinking of, like, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror on the GBA. Point is, this is, like, classic style Kirby, not the first one. Since the GBA era. But the second one, the first one I'm thinking of in this style. Squeak Squad. I forgot about Squeak Squad. I haven't played that one. Thank you for reminding me of that one. I was thinking of Return to Dreamland, the one on the Wii. Which I think is definitely in the same vein as this. I guess it'll be easier to talk about if I actually start playing the game, huh? Why don't I just click this button? We'll just go right into story mode. And, this is kind of just how... Wait a second, there's no way Kirby ate those apples. There was still apple left behind. This is just kind of how the story of Kirby games go. He's just living a happy, peaceful life, and then suddenly some, like, existential crisis occurs. And he decides he's going to do something about it. Kirby is our very good boy. Oh no. Look at all this wanton violence against Waddle Dees. Alright, let's see. Now, fortunately, the frame rate on the bottom screen, the bottom right, for you, the viewer at home, not really going to matter too much. Hopefully that will actually help the rest of it look better. It is not changing. Very static. So let's get into it with our first level, tutorial level. Even got these helpful little pop-ups. Kirby can jump. Imagine that. Now, since this game is on the 3DS, that does mean there are going to be elements of 3D that are just not capturable at all. By the way, did you know Kirby can inhale enemies and then spit them out? Like, see, you got this Waddle Dee swinging from background to foreground. When I was testing this, sometimes I got the prompt for fighting, and sometimes I didn't. Also, did you know that Kirby can take on abilities based on certain enemies by swallowing them? Imagine that. This is something they introduced in Kirby Superstar. This is really, really convenient. You even get a move list of all the things you can do with an ability. I think that's all of them. Yeah. I think that's my favorite move, that upward slash followed by the that downward slam. More violence against Waddle Dees, I'm so sorry. But let's check out this part. This is Beam. Beam is very underwhelming, if you ask me. It's like one of the original abilities, and although they did give it some extra moves in Kirby Superstar, they've never changed it since then. I can do a whip, they call it. I can charge it up for bigger blast. If I run, there's like kind of a cone of attack. If I run and dash, I can do shower. That's it. Those are all the moves. A lot of other abilities have way more function than that. I want to say Beam is just like a very personal favorite of the development staff. Look at these enemies going background. I actually might have missed something. Kind of did. Okay, I can go back for it. So you saw those blades of grass, tall blades of grass, I assume. You can either cut them or burn them. Either way is fine. They hide stuff in them. Stuff like that keychain. You'll often see those little warp stars. They just take you from different elements of the background or foreground. If they're orange, that means there's a way they'll bring you back. If they're yellow, which we'll see soonish, they're one way, so I don't know, keep that in mind. I'm going to pick up this ability just to show it off. This is Spark. If you have played Kirby Superstar, you're probably familiar with the Plasma ability. That's Spark and Plasma have been combined into a single ability. This is classic Spark. You just hold the button and you damage everything around you. plasma, the more you move around, the more you charge up energy, and then you can just fire a button, release it. Simple enough. But here we're getting the central gimmick of the game. Called the Hypernova ability. Basically, what it does is it lets Kirby inhale just about anything and everything. Right. Sunstone. So sunstones are kind of collectibles. You need them to open up more areas. Look at all that stuff fly. Completely gone. Sometimes there are fun puzzles. Give of that. Like I can move these super heavy blocks. For some reason, Kirby cannot handle them. Making a platform to get up there to break open that other sunstone. Actually, kind of a neat little puzzle. This is also neat. Wrecking ball, just pull it all the way back. So unlike other games with super abilities, this one doesn't really run out until the end of the level. Got these moles to deal with. Sorry for being rude, moles. Funny thing about Kirby is that if you're in the way, he will deal with you. I want to hit the cardboard cutout. I don't want to get faked out by the very quick appearance. Oh, be there. You see, this is one of those one-way plane shifting stars. That's the end of the first level. This is very traditional. You get the goal game, which is you just try to press A with the meter as full as possible. Even at the full frame rate, it's going kind of fast. That's not nearly good enough. But depending on how far you go, you get better prizes. So another collectible in this game, which is purely just for fun. These will not do a single. You can get these keychains. They're different enemies and abilities, and sometimes even scenes from various Kirby games. I appreciate that they even tell you which game specifically they come from. As far as I recall, all the silver ones are random, but the gold ones are the same. So you'll always get that star rod from that one spot. Anyway, let's just cruise right along to Oral level 2. Alright, there's a new ability. New to this game, I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look at it. It's just called the Bell ability. These moves have incredible names. Who doesn't love Ring Ding or Ring Ding Dong, or the Ding Finale, or the Sting Ding, the Twin Tinker, Tinker Melody, or the Floating Ring. Then again, how could I overlook the Underwater Twin Ring Ding? That's it. Kirby just rings a bell. The finale's coming, though. Send out an attack that goes to the sides. Alright, the dash is also pretty handy. Alright, and since this is on the 3DS, that does mean that there is a gyro mechanic to it. So I gotta actually tilt a 3DS physically, pour water over this fire, and just ruin the good time that those Waddle Dees were trying to have. Just wanted to have a big old bonfire, and that's all I have. See, one other thing that Kirby games are pretty fond of, they keep the bell power, is putting little secrets, where you just have to go backwards. Ah, yes, there's the charge up. Like, if you just come into this room, it might be easy to overlook the fact that there's that gap in the wall, but maybe it's not. There really wasn't even anything super important back there. An extra life, I guess. A fun little touch with the Bell's combo attack is that the pitch does shift the more you hit enemies with it. I think that's neat. Even though it's that one hit that you really need, I just think it's fun that hitting them multiple times actually does a little cosmetic thing. So we're back to doing tilt controls. Oops, didn't tilt far enough. There we go. Oh, hey, that's a new ability. Now we've got the whip. All whip attacks grab items. This may be important. Got simple strike, aim upwards, aim downwards, tornado. Or tornado. Let's see. Take out that officially known as shot zone. Down here, for an orange door, we've got a puzzle. The puzzle here is you want to water the flowers. You want to get both of them. So, you know, make sure that you use your water efficiently. The fun thing, or the nice thing though, is that these puzzle rooms will reset if you leave and come back. And you can do that through doors that have this orange star on them. So, orange means it means it's two-way. That's what I'm getting at. Goodbye, Shocktale. Yep, sure. Oh. It's everyone's favorite friend, Bandana Waddle Dee. So since this was on the 3DS, that does mean there was a Street Pass feature included. And basically, that star in the bottom can be used to store an item. Probably won't. I mean, it's gonna be kind of hard to show off what you get from Street Pass in 2020. When am I gonna find the time to go out and find strangers with a 3DS on their person? Goodbye, Mr. Frosty. I'll take that power. The info said you get better healing items. That's all there is to it. Alright, so ice. Naturally ice skate. Freeze stuff. Ice suction and injection. Fairly straightforward abilities, but you can do that to them. Hey, golden keychain. That's the kind of thing you gotta keep an eye out for. You probably wouldn't think to look up, but if you do, see, hey, there's no ceiling. Hey, Max. Kirby is here. Kirby is happening at slightly less than half the frames, but it's okay. I figure you can still get the gist of what's happening, and that's good enough, right? Oh yeah, good old Mike Kirby. Dynablade. Alright. And I'm sorry to say that the violence against Waddle Dees will continue. There's really nothing I can do about that as, you know, as the player of the game. Obviously, I have no control over what's happening. Let's see, you got the cutter, everyone's favorite classic ability. Don't quote me on that. Pretty basic moveset. can throw a boomerang and angle it. Throw a bigger boomerang. Do kind of a dash attack. I keep trying to do the final cutter move. That should be familiar if you've ever played as Kirby in Smash. I keep accidentally killing the enemies. That's embarrassing. Enemies do respawn kind of generously. There it is. Very important that I get that. Right, and suddenly I've got rockets that I can aim. Okay. Good old tilt controls. I'm gonna try to clear out as much of these blocks as I can. See, because there's a sunstone hiding right there. I'm gonna take one. There's nothing I could have done about that Waddle Dee. You all saw he was coming right for me. Good rule of thumb if you're playing a Kirby game is that if they're giving you an ability, you can probably use it in the immediate future. Alright. Now this is going to be a thing. I think this is also a neat puzzle. I'm going to light the fuse and I'm going to hop in this cannon. I'm going to keep that mostly lined up. And then roll it over. Like so. It's the easiest of these puzzles, but they do get slightly more complicated. I mean, this is the first world after. And, oh. Like we're getting another one of these. Oh, I should probably look. Yeah, that's it. Those are the moves. Hypernova, inhale, and also moving. There you have it. Kirby's stomach turns into a literal black hole. I guess. You can even devour those monsters as long as they're pointing their star butt at you. Why? I don't know. Don't know why that makes them, but it does. That's looking like the way forward. Before I hurt myself, maybe I should check this door. I messed this up. I did. But sometimes that happens. Like I said, the puzzles do reset themselves. Mess up. But that's, basically there are two ways to deal with, those walls you can destroy. You can actually just kind of pull the wrecking ball back a little bit and just knock out the section to form a platform, which may or may not be a solution in the future. Who could say? Always go after the glowing weakness. Make it bright red and blinky. Oh, I got a little overeager there. Tried to trick me. Just say I got overeager because I'm excited to play Kirby. This is what... That background is looking kind of fake. Some kind of backdrop, and that's because it is. It really is nice to be playing a Kirby game. Kind of a tonal whiplash after playing Resident Evil 4, but these are always just like fun little romps. At least that's how they start. They can get a little intense. Want me to use Cutter? Want me to use Spark? Who knows? What I do know is they're giving me a key. When you've got a key, you can't Kirby fly. You can throw them. About it though. Like the ice cream. Oh, mini boss time. Hornhead. And a new ability. King of Bugs. The Beetle. Beetle is a fun new ability that kind of borrows from some older moves. It's... oh. Better seen in act. You can do a little loop to, pile drive enemies. You can... As soon as I get on the right plane as them, you can snatch them and go serious driver. A Kirby Zuna drop, if you will. And the horn does count as cutting, so you can use that to reveal certain secrets. Alright, see now we've got a challenge. We've got to take the key over there, and it's really not much of a challenge when you think about it. But I couldn't destroy the enemy. One up there, but I don't believe that's the only secret. There's look, the level actually continues. The screen actually. Of course the level. Alright, I guess we'll check out. Needle. What does Needle do in this game? You can stick to walls. You can do a Needle burst. Mega Needle and Falling Spot. Let's see. Needle is also one of those classic Kirby abilities. Been around for a very long time in the series, but even this, they gave extra moves that give beam. Like, you could not always do this Mega Needle thing. Then again, I guess not all games had Needle in it. So. Needle's boring. Going back to Needle. Concerned because that's a one-way door, and I did not see any way that would let me go to the background. I'm just gonna take another peek. That's probably just there to give you some kind of anxiety. Make you think you're missing out, but it'll probably let me loop back around. This is where you want to pay attention to 3D if you can. That was bad. All Gordos are the same size. Oh, here we go. See? Alright, more tilt controls. Hope you're excited about it. You might be thinking, now Eddie, why would you need tilt controls when you can fly? Good question. Okay, I won't leave it there. There are actually cases where you'll be carrying something. You need to go across gaps. Like, hey, here we go. Gaps, hazards, that kind of thing. Go across that grill there. There's no way Kirby could do that without getting hurt. Ah, the energy drink. Most food heals like the same amount, but energy drinks are more powerful healing. Then, of course, there's the Maxim Tomato and Kirby. I thought you were a better driver than that. I'm gonna stay as Beetle. Beetle is very powerful. Beetle is my friend. Is that gonna get me in all the way to number 1? I feel like the window to getting the full bonus is very tight. Hey, this is Kirby Mass Attack, and oh, Dark Matter. Hello. So this is kind of how it works. You do need to get a minimum number of sun stones. Unlock the boss. And when you find all of them in the stage, or in a world, you can get them all. So I'm going to do this EX stage before I do the boss. We'll go over here. I have missed goodies. Plus I go here. You know, EX stages are just, you know, extra challenging. We'll take a look at the wing ability. Returning from Superstar. You can shoot feathers and aim the feathers. Dash attack. You can do like a dive bomb. All kinds of dive bomb, really. You can do a shuttle loop. So we're just gonna... shuttle loop. The Lumberjack Wallabies are very proud of their job, and by extension, I'm happy for them. But they're not getting any lumber out of it, so what's the deal there? That's what shooting feathers looks like. The shooting of feathers is probably the weakest part of the skill, of the ability. All those enemies are having a good time. Oops. And this is what I meant by they're more challenging. I actually dipped just below half health. Kirby game. Who could have ever seen that coming? Oh no, I lost my ability. That's alright. The power of Beetle has returned. I think getting the Sunstone in these levels, these EX stages, is really just a function of beating them. Usually when you get two abilities just handed to you like they were at the start of the screen, that means you're coming up against a boss of some kind. Hey, what do you know? It's Blocky DX. And go. I love Beetle, but we'll take Stone just to get it in there. Stone used to just turn you into a rock like that. They have added like different types of forms that you take that are all fun. Some of them are cute. Is random. For some reason they let you turn around. Here I am mashing right. I don't know what good that is. Doesn't do anything. Turbo Stone. I guess kind of a dash. And you press down and turn into a stone in the air. You get bigger and do more damage. But the really new thing is the uppercut move, which was not always a thing that Kirby could do. See, there's that Sunstone. All I had to do was beat the boss. There we go, that ought to get me to the #1 prize. Just barely. A fun little dance. Everyone loves the Kirby dance, right? Lotso. That's not Shotzo. Now I can take out the ball. I wonder who this boss is. Right, goodbye, ice cream. Hey, Dedede. Back here with my friend. You're right, Tia. It's gonna be Meta Knight. Here he is, a knight, but meta. So this is basically how all Kirby Kings go. Got at least a variation of wispy woods. There's a big tree that shakes things down at you for you to inhale and spit back at him. You don't have an ability. One of the things they kind of added for, I want to say they started adding it in Return to Dreamland on the Wii. They give bosses multiple faces. Which, believe it or not, was not always a thing. But I appreciate that you can attack flowery woods, his roots, to deal damage. You don't have to wait the whole time. I think the one thing everyone can agree on is that it's just not fun when you have bosses that have phases or attacks where all you can do is just kind of wait around. Just not fun. Anyway.